They very soon came upon a griffin lying fast asleep in the sun. If you don't know what a griffin is, look at the picture. It actually says that. "Up, lazy thing," said the queen, "and take this young lady to see the mock turtle and to hear his history. I must go back and see after some executions I have ordered." And she walked off, leaving Alice alone with the griffin. Alice did not quite like the look of the creature, but on the whole she thought it would be quite as safe to stay with it as to go after that savage queen. So she waited. The griffin sat up and rubbed its eyes. Then it watched the queen till she was out of sight. Then it chuckled. "What fun!" said the griffin, half to itself, half to Alice. "What is the fun?" said Alice. "Why, she," said the griffin. "It's all her fancy that. They never executes nobody, you know. Come on." "Everybody says come on here," thought Alice as she went slowly after it. "I never was so ordered about in all my life before. Never." They had not gone far before they saw the mock turtle in the distance, sitting sad and lonely on the little ledge of rock. And as they came nearer, Alice could hear him sighing, as if his heart would break. She pitied him deeply. "What is his sorrow?" she asked the griffin. And the griffin answered, very nearly in the same words as before, "It's all his fancy that. He hasn't got no sorrow, you know. Come on." So they went up to the mock turtle, who looked at them with large eyes full of tears, but said nothing. "This here young lady," said the griffin, "she wants for to know your history, she do." "Oh, I'll tell it her," said the mock turtle in a deep, hollow tone. "Sit down, both of you, and don't speak a word till I've finished." So they sat down, and nobody spoke for some minutes. Alice thought to herself, "I don't see how he can ever finish if he doesn't begin." But she waited patiently. "Once," said the mock turtle at last, with a deep sigh, "I was a real turtle." These words were followed by a very long silence, broken only by an occasional exclamation of from the griffin, and the constant heavy sobbing of the mock turtle. Alice was very nearly getting up and saying, "Thank you, sir, for your interesting story," but she could not help thinking there must be more to come, so she sat still and said nothing. "When we were little," the mock turtle went on at last, more calmly, though still sobbing a little now and then, "we went to school in the sea. The master was an old turtle. We used to call him Tortoise." "Well, why did you call him Tortoise if he wasn't one?" Alice asked. "We called him Tortoise because he taught us," said the mock turtle angrily. "Really, you are very dull." "You ought to be ashamed of yourself for asking such a simple question," added the griffin. And then they both sat silent and looked at poor Alice, who felt ready to sink into the earth. At last, the griffin said to the mock turtle, "Drive on, old fellow. Don't be all day about it." And he went on in these words. "Yes, we went to school in the sea, though you mayn't believe it." "I never said I didn't," and interrupted Alice. "You did," said the mock turtle. "Hold your tongue," added the griffin, before Alice could speak again. The mock turtle went on. "We had the best of educations. In fact, we went to school every day." "I've been to a day school too," said Alice. "You needn't be so proud as all that." "With extras?" asked the mock turtle a little anxiously. "Yes," said Alice. "We learned French and music." "And washing?" said the mock turtle. "Certainly not," said Alice indignantly. "Ah, then yours wasn't a really good school," said the mock turtle in a tone of great relief. "Now at ours, they had at the end of the bill French, music, and washing extra." "You couldn't have wanted it much," said Alice, "living at the bottom of the sea." "I couldn't afford to learn it," said the Mock Turtle with a sigh. "I only took the regular course." "What was that?" inquired Alice. "Reeling and writhing, of course, to begin with," the Mock Turtle replied. "And then the different branches of arithmetic: ambition, distraction, uglification, and derision." "I've never heard of uglification," Alice ventured to say. "What is it?" The Griffin lifted up both its paws in surprise. "Never heard of uglification?" it exclaimed. "You know what to beautify is, I suppose." "Well, yes," said Alice doubtfully. "It means to make anything prettier." "Well then," the Griffin went on, "if you don't know what to uglify is, you are a simpleton." Alice did not feel encouraged to ask any more questions about it, so she turned to the Mock Turtle and said, "What else had you to learn?" "Well, there was mystery," the Mock Turtle replied, counting off the subjects on his flappers. "Mystery, ancient and modern, with seaography, then drawling. The drawling master was an old conger eel that used to come once a week. He taught us drawling, stretching, and fainting in coils." "Ooh, what was that like?" said Alice. "Well, I can't show it you myself," the Mock Turtle said. "I'm too stiff, and the Griffin never learnt it." "I hadn't time," said the Griffin. "I went to the classical master, though. He was an old crab, he was." "I never went to him," the Mock Turtle said with a sigh. "He taught laughing and grief, they used to say." So he did," said the Griffin, sighing in his turn. And both creatures hid their faces in their paws. "And how many hours a day did you do lessons?" said Alice in a hurry to change the subject. 10 hours at first," said the Mock Turtle. 9 the next, and so on." "What a curious plan!" exclaimed Alice. "Well, that's the reason they call them lessons," the Griffin remarked, "because they lessen from day to day." Well, this was quite a new idea to Alice, and she thought it over a little before she made her remark. "Well, then the 11th day must have been a holiday." "Of course it was," said the Mock Turtle. "And how did you manage on the 12th?" Alice went on eagerly. "That's enough about lessons," the Griffin interrupted in a very decided tone. "Tell her something about the games now." And that's Chapter 9 of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Whatever you do today, have fun.